These guys from a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty" want to talk to you, and I think and I said, you don't have to tell me what it's about. I said, if it's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," you definitely don't need to tell me what it's about, and I'm going on. This is what I want to do.
It's a Seinfeld podcast. It's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty." But I thought, this is what a podcast should be.
I just did the Seinfeld guys pod the other day. I came up with
these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh,
that one. Shout out. We've done it. I've done it. Have you did it?
I've not gotten a chance to do it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
It's so fun. They're so fun.
When I don't know, it must have shown up in my feed, but I see these guys tweeting about Seinfeld. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I find it's a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty."
One of the most popular Seinfeld podcasts is "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," co-hosted by Chris O'Hara and Tony Chula.
Welcome to "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is 2 Up and 2 Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
All right, welcome back to another episode of 2 Up and 2 Down. And today we got, the Junior Mint. So, Tony, start us off with this season 4 episode.
Yeah, the Junior Mint, season 4, friend of the show, Andy Robin. His first episode, great story about how that script got into the hands of the Seinfeld people through SNL and Sandler, the whole thing. Check out our talk with Robin.
I had written for Saturday Night Live for a season, and when Jerry Seinfeld hosted, I asked Adam Sandler if he could pass Jerry a script I had written. And Jerry had brought along Larry Charles and Larry David when he was on SNL, and they read it and liked it enough to have me pitch some ideas. So one of those ideas eventually became the Junior Mint, and spent a year on Seinfeld by myself, realized it was a lot more fun writing with Greg, asked Greg if he would want to work together again, because we had written a lot in college, and I just think Greg's the funniest person, and I wanted to have somebody to laugh with and not be alone in the room. Greg had launched his own company, but he was willing to try to extricate himself from that, and we did we started writing together in, I think, 94.
But we got to give 2 ups and 2 downs for this episode. A solid episode and a great season. So let's go here with ups. My first up, I don't think it's too big. I think it's a scene, so I think it works. I think O'Hara probably has a lot on his list, so I'm okay doing this up front. I really love the hospital room scene. Man, you got just Jerry in there first with the yo-yo, doing his thing with the yo-yo, and Elaine trying to act like they're boyfriends, and Jerry doing his thing, needling her. Then the K-Man's there with Dr. Wexler, friend of the show, the inter-abdominal retractor. Kramer never trusts Western medicine. He's always what's going on here? What are you using, a retractor? The guy's like, 2020. I love that Kramer's always on top of things. Kramer, I do great. How do you do? I do great. It's great, Kramer. It's everyone at their best, really. It's Jerry needling Elaine. It's Kramer being Kramer. I love that scene so much. I laugh every time with that scene. There's so much going on there. Everyone's delivering. It's written perfectly. That's my first up right there. That hospital scene with the intro of the guy in the thing on the bed, and Elaine being like, "Wow, okay, here we go," and then Jerry's still playing off like she doesn't like him and just needling her a lot there. It's just a great all around scene. It takes up a lot of it's a pretty big scene, but I love it. That's my first up.
Yeah, good one there, Tony. Thanks. Chris, over to you. What's your first up?
Honey, are we going to the Poconos this Friday? Yeah, I mean, great stuff. I'm surprised you like the yo-yo, because you usually don't like Jerry doing silly things like tapping on the car, things like that. But hey, and yeah, he. I
like the doctor's reaction to Jerry's like, doesn't even say it, just looks at him like, "What are you doing?"
Classic Wexler. Although he was Dr. Siegel for this episode, but be that as it may. I'm gonna go friend of the show, Mulva. I mean, her intro. I mean, boom, right? I mean, what do you think when you're a kid? When your name rhymes with the female anatomy, and then they start making out, and she's Jerry, and then Jerry just says, "Oh, you." I mean, how do you not laugh every time he says, "Oh, you"? Just incredible stuff. And then obviously Mulva just trying to, and then I'll extend a little bit. It doesn't really take scenes away, but her always introducing herself to Kramer and then George. Nice to meet you. And then she was just so good and just so succinct, if you will, in her role. And obviously, an incredible job on this program. So, Mulva, Dolores, Susan Walters, whatever you want to call her, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely great pick. She was fantastic in the episode, and yeah, wonderful to speak with you on our podcast. So it's solid up there. Tony, over to you. What's your second up?
Yeah, Mulva. That's all I wrote down was just Mulva. And O'Hara just took it perfectly. Listen, another why we love the show. I think, just bam, cut to Monks, George and Jerry. Let's try breast. The first thing, when they're trying to figure out the name, here they go. The two of them they have a task at hand, putting their minds together, talking about the girl, just going through names, Hest, Aretha, Bulvary, the whole thing. Unbelievable. Culminates with Jerry's improv line of, we'll go watch him slice his fat bastard up. Love that scene at Monks. Love the back and forth between the two of them, just throwing names out, just trying to come up with something. It epitomizes what we love about the show. Just two clowns, just two buffoons, just acting like kids. Like, how are we gonna get this girl's name? Just George is throwing every name in the book. Celeste, Hest, the whole thing. Yeah, that's my second up. A little succinct there, but that's what I'm going to go with. The trying to get Mulva's name, ending with Kramer's. Kramer's going to bring a date to the surgery, and Jerry's like, "I'll go with you. Watch him cut this fat bastard up, slice this fat bastard up." Everyone's favorite, one of Jerry's best lines, improv, we believe. So there you go. That's my second up.
Yeah, good two pairings there of scenes there for ups. So Chris, over to you. What's your second one?
Yeah, back at Monks, always a good one. And I even like the one, I won't use it, but the Jerry and George back at the apartment discussing how Jerry met Dolores in the produce section, and he's like, "What's her name?" "I don't know." Like, I got distracted. She's good looking. Yeah. Oh man, just great stuff, because when they talk, Jerry's kind of painting that picture of him meeting him. It's great stuff. All right, let's see. Oh, I know what I got. The Jerry, after the Junior Mint goes in incident, Jerry and Kramer back in the apartment. Jerry, we gotta confess, we could be tried for murder. The whole thing. They're like just talking on the side and arguing, and I'm telling you can't stop me. You're not. And then Elaine comes out, and the whole thing. But those two arguing, being so like secretive about murder. I mean, they dropped the Junior Mint, and it went to this further degree, and obviously it got better, the whole thing. But love those two whispering to each other about the crime, if you will. So that's my second up.
All right, yeah, good one. All right, so that wraps up the two ups. Tony, back to you. Let's start the downs. What's your first one?
Yeah, listen, I don't have very many written down, so I'm glad I'm going first. My first down is George watching Home Alone, the crying. I mean, I get it's just something funny, have him there, but again, fake crying is rarely funny. And George, shut up! Don't make out to me. I don't know. I know a lot of people probably like that. I might be on the wrong side of this one. I only wrote down basically two things here, so if O'Hara takes my other one, I mean, there weren't a lot of downs in this episode. And every time that scene kind of doesn't sit well. It doesn't. I don't know. It's just. I get like George's line of, let me watch it here. I'm doing something. I'm out of the house. That's kind of funny or whatever. He comes home and he's crying. I don't know. Again, it could be an up if you ask me tomorrow, but I'm looking for downs here. And that one always in the back of my mind. If you tell me like, what don't you like about the Junior Mint? That'll probably stick out more than anything else for some reason. I don't like George fake crying and, telling Jerry to shut up under his breath there. So that's my first down is the George crying on Home Alone.
Yeah, come on, you're an adult. You could if you don't know about Home Alone by then, yeah. All right, so good down. Chris, over to you. What's your first one?
Yeah, that was my first down as well. I wrote Rented Home Alone. He's 35. What are you doing? It's a good movie, but I mean, not only that, the movie was only 3 years ago. It was 1990. The movie came out. This is 93. Like, it's not like he's going back and watching Casablanca or something. But anyway, I'm just going to piggyback. I think George overall kind of had a down episode. I think this is a Jerry and Kramer episode. Let's be real. That whole Clara Nightingale kind of conversation, you mean Florence Nightingale? No, Clara. What did she do? No, Clara Barton. Like, I don't know, a little much. Like, all right, George got the $1,900. Okay, like he kind of fell into it. George never falls into anything like that, so that was kind of odd. So I don't know. Help me out. George didn't really have anything outside of like he bought the art and then went down the drain. Okay, but like I don't know. Incredible episode, which makes it all the more impressive because during these years when George usually elevates all this stuff, but for me he didn't really do that in this one.
That's a good point. George, really didn't have it going on in this one. So good down there. Tony, over to you. What's your second one?
Yeah, while we're sort of piling on George a little bit, he's drinking milk with a sandwich. Never understood that. And there's another episode where he's drinking milk and Jerry's like, what am I drinking milk? At least Jerry calls it out. And this one, I just see George is drinking a big glass of milk with a sandwich. It threw me off a little bit. Jerry's gym bag too, by the way, that forced gym bag he uses a lot. I never liked that gym bag. I'm sure Harris picked up on that before. Not my down though. I only have very few written down. In fact, my second down, I like O'Hara's down there. I didn't write it down, but it makes sense. It kind of tied into mine. George wasn't solid. It's a good point. My second down though isn't great. I don't love it, but it's a solid episode. So what are you going to do? You got to come up with something here. I don't get the end of the episode isn't great, and I just never understood. Like, I still don't really understand what happened. Did the mint save him, or did he get better? The mint was going to get him sick, and then the mint made him sick, and then he just got better, or he was sick, and the guy thinks the mint made him better. Whatever. That doesn't really matter much. It's not my down. My down is more, why did Elaine end up not liking the guy anymore? He didn't change. What, he started eating spaghetti fast in front of her? That doesn't mean it. I just don't understand what happened. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but like all of a sudden now Elaine doesn't want to go on the date with him and tries to get Jerry to pull back in as the boyfriend, but nothing should have changed that fact. He didn't change at all. He just ate his spaghetti the way George eats spaghetti. I don't know. Threw me off. Maybe there was something cut out we missed, but that's my down. I mean, it's an odd down, but I didn't really have a lot as I was rewatching this, like jumping out to me. And at the end of that episode, I love Wexler's speech, even though again, it doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know what happened exactly. I guess he's saying the junior mint came from the top and saved everyone. But to be that as it may, I don't know why Elaine's breaking up with the guy, and I keep thinking about it, and I'm not laughing. And there's nothing funny about it either. I mean, I guess you pulled Jerry back in to make it funny, but all that's to say, that's my down. Is Elaine kind of pulling the old switcheroo in this guy out of nowhere? I didn't get it, and that's my down.
Yeah, I kind of thought that the junior mint saved him the way that Wexler said, maybe it was something from above. And of course, the junior mint came from above. So anyway, and yeah, to your point, yeah, I guess Elaine fell in love with this guy again because he got sick. You kind of had that sympathy for the fella. And then obviously, all right, he's good. Yeah, I'm no longer interested. So yeah, I can see your point there. So, Chris, we're going to wrap up the downs with you. What do you got for your second one?
Yeah, I think we're overanalyzing the Wexler speech here. I think it's as simple as it was a miracle. He thinks it's from God. I don't think it has anything to do with the junior man. I don't think he saw it. I don't think he knew it was in there. I think that was just a joke and a crime between two neighbors wearing those silly hats. Incredible. And that was it. And I think the paranoia, it was well played the way they did it. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to kind of double down on yours. I didn't love the boyfriend, Roy.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what got me the whole time.
He's first off, he's not even that thin. Like,
right. Good point.
He's just a big guy. And, I guess they could have got someone thinner. I don't know where they were going with that. He looked like a mess. Like, it doesn't seem like someone like sweaty. And I know he's in a hospital. I get it, but not Elaine's typical, guy that she's into. She likes a little more clean cut historically. But yeah, Sherman Howard, who played Roy, I don't know. And then, him eating the spaghetti. I think Schmidt had a good point. The sympathy card. And then when she saw he was better, she thought she could do better. So, but Roy, yeah, I don't know. He wasn't terrible, but in a great episode, he was kind of like not memorable. Thank God for the doctor there in those scenes. He really steered the ship. So Roy is my second down.
Yeah, nothing against the actor playing Roy. It's just that it just doesn't work for us. All right, so that's the ups and the downs. So Tony, we're gonna go over to you. What's your grade? What do you got for your final thoughts here on the Junior Mint?
Yeah, fat starving artist. I do like when he kisses George at the end. That was a nice little touch. And yeah, I didn't love the guy, and I think the Junior Mint came down, and I get all that. I just had to throw it down in there. Listen, I mentioned we're overanalyzing a great episode here, right? You got Mulva, you got Wood, Jerry Wood. Wood is good. You got an all-time ending with Dolores. Prognosis negative comes out of this one. They don't put them next to vital organs in the abdominal cavity. Love that line. O'Hara mentioned the hairnets. Just Jerry and Kramer up at the booth with the hairnets. Unbelievable. I mean, listen, this is a great episode. I mean, I'm not going A+. I'm pretty much between it's in an A range, right? So I've been bouncing around with this one a lot. It's a really, really good episode. It's basically an all-timer in season 4. I barely wrote any downs down. My downs didn't make much sense. O'Hara's a little down on George on this one. I can see where he's coming from. But I think there's enough there. I think there's just enough there with Mulva and Dolores as an all-timer, as an all-time ending, especially seeing it live. Andy Robin, maybe I got a soft spot there. I'm going A. I'm going solid, clean, straight A, right down the middle. This is an A episode if I ever saw one. I thought maybe A-, but I got to be fair. It's a Junior Mint. I mean, you think Junior Mint, you think A. That's it for me. It's an A. Junior Mint.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go there. So, Chris, over to you. What's your grade here?
Well said. Robin, incredible job. And thank Adam Sandler for this one. He's the one that actually, I believe, handed the script to Larry David back on the SNL set back in the day there. So all good points with Jerry Wood, the Poconos, retractors. But, got to be fair here. And it's all time. You never turn it off. It's in the A's, it's in the A range. I don't think I could give it the clean A. I mean, season 4, George, if he's not up there, he's not up there. He's not elevating this, And even Elaine to some degree. I mean, this was a Kramer and Jerry show, and which is wonderful. I can't argue the A, but I'm giving the Junior Mint an A-. Season 4. Still an incredible episode. I mean, think about season 4. Okay, there's gonna be plenty of A's, folks, but Junior Mint will get an A- today.
All right. Well, yeah, obviously a solid episode. We know that. So yeah, great points by you guys, and yeah, thanks for your analysts here. And we'll see everybody on the next episode of 2 Up and 2 Down.